An online poll by Elon Musk on whether he should quit as Twitter CEO shows the majority of those who took part voted in favour of the move. The margin was 15%. The billionaire entrepreneur launched the poll last night, promising to abide by its results, but he's yet to comment since the poll's final result. Well, let's go live to Glasgow now and speak with our technology reporter, Alistair Keane. And Alistair, these things can always be quite fraught when you ask your audience what they think about something. I mean, the question is, what's going on behind the scenes at Twitter?
Yeah, that's to say, don't ask a question you don't really want the answer to. Although, as some people have been pointing out, perhaps this is the answer that Elon Musk wanted. We spoke to one former employee there that said he's been under so much pressure from external forces, such as investors at his other firm, Tesla, who want him to spend more time focusing on that company, that actually maybe this is his route out of being the CEO of Twitter. Although, of course, if he does follow through and abide by this poll, as he says he will still ultimately be in charge. It's just a couple of months since he paid billions and billions and billions of pounds and dollars to be in charge of the company, and he will still own it even if he appoints a new CEO. As it stands, it's not really clear who the new CEO could be. At the same time as tweeting out that poll, Elon Musk said there wasn't anyone coming forward who could keep Twitter alive. Therefore, there was no successor. So there's still no timeline as to how long it will take before Elon Musk really gives up the control that he has as the boss.
I mean, Alistair, in truth, if we follow the news around Twitter, it has felt like utter chaos, the mass sacking of staff and the exodus. And, at the weekend, we saw journalists being thrown off and their accounts being blocked and then reinstated. And then I saw something where he went into a Twitter space at one point to answer their questions and then disappeared again when he was pressed. It does feel like chaos at Twitter.
It does, and if you describe even what you've described plus all the other things that have happened, it sounds like we're talking about years and years of company ownership. And actually, it was only in October, it's just been a couple of months that Elon Musk took over. We have seen new policies come in, we have seen people complain about those policies, we have seen some of those policies be taken away again. Even this weekend, there was a new policy that you wouldn't be able to link to certain other social media networks. You wouldn't be able to say, follow me also on Facebook and Instagram, for example, and then that policy appears to have disappeared again. So it has been very chaotic. It's very chaotic for users, and it's very chaotic for advertisers who pump loads and loads and loads of money into that platform, and they're not really sure what they're getting from it and how long they want to continue being in it. So this perhaps is an attempt to bring a little bit of stability to the company, but of course that will depend on who's appointed as the boss.
I mean, the other fact is, Alistair, that it hasn't ever really been a profitable company, has it? He's taken this on board, and it's a platform that many journalists and public figures and policymakers use. But the sort of general public, on Twitter, en masse, all of the time, is not something that we've really seen.
No, and I think we can't underestimate just how influential it is as a platform for those reasons. The politicians are there as journalists quite often if we want a reaction to a story, and that's where we know we can go and we will hear straight from the horse's mouth, as it were, of the people that are tweeting. Huge organisations, local authorities, councils, governments use it to tweet out important information. We saw that during the pandemic. But you're right, as for users, they're finding other places. Users on Facebook, for example, is much higher than is on Twitter. People are moving to TikTok. There are other social networks that are competing for people's time, and a lot of them are winning.
And I suppose that what's not clear is, what does Elon Musk want this iteration of Twitter to be once it was handed over from people like Jack Dorsey? What is Twitter now? And is it the town square? Is it something into the future that like WeChat that everyone starts to use?
Yeah, he's spoken a couple of times about the different things he wants the platform to be. Freedom of speech being one of the big things. He says it should be a place where anyone can come and have a say, even if those are things that normally people weren't allowed to come on Twitter and say because they were perhaps deemed offensive or illegal. His response to that was actually you would still be able to come to the platform and say those things. You just wouldn't find those tweets amplified so much. So they might disappear from people's threads, but they would still very much be on the platform. He spoke about wanting to bring back accounts of some people, including former President Donald Trump, who had been banned. But then last week we saw him banning some journalists' accounts. So it's very confusing as to what his version of free speech actually looks like. And I mean, this today only just adds to that confusion.
Yeah, very much. We'll see how this all unfolds. Alistair, thanks so much.